Hi all. Well, Barry Bonds did it, but we all know that he didn't. But history will record that Barry Bonds broke Hank Aaron's home run record. But we all know that Barry Bonds cheated. Yes, you cheated, and got paid a king's ransom for doing so. So, in one of my latest, one of my last videos, I said that the only thing we're going to learn from history is our mistakes. And it's because of people like Barry Bonds and records like that that's the case. But I found some stuff while I was going through my files and such. And even though I truly believe the only thing we're ever going to learn from history is our mistakes, there's a difference between history and personal history. Some things you don't learn, some things you just do, and they become part of your life. So we are going to break from the formality of the chair, and we are going to go through what could be an excruciating long video, what Penniless Cripple so beautifully referred to as YouTube-aside. But if you're along for the ride, I'm glad to have you with me. Also, I'll be talking about memories. So some of the actual facts might be a bit funny, but that's the difference between truth and fact. Truth is what we believe, fact is what we know. So I hope you enjoy this little waltz down amnesia lane. It's going to be fun for me. See how it works out. So I hope it's not too long, because editing it's going to be a bitch, but here's my video. Well, hello and welcome to my floor. If you were ever wondering what Baron looks like in his pajamas, there you go. Now you know. I found a folder of just old stuff from my involvement with the Vancouver independent music scene. And I keep getting emails, you gotta love that. Like such as, this was my backstage pass for a concert that I played. It was a fundraiser at the YMCA for YOP, the Youth Outreach Program. Also in here we have, like, well, for instance, going back to YOP, just gonna cover this up with my finger. This is the one, for those of you familiar with him, that Nardwar, the human serviette, would have had. He couldn't make it that night. The reason I covered it up is because it's got his actual name on it. And I'm kind of picky that way, that if you don't know his name, and you just know him from much music, then you'll find other ways to get his name. Let's see. Jam Factory. Used to be a buddy of mine's studio. Here we have a clip from what I believe to be the Georgia Strait. This is the gig that we played at the Town Pump with Nemesis Gypsy, Joker's Wild, Spiral Jetty, good group of guys. And you probably can't see it, but there's us, Drag River, down on there too. This is an article about my buddy's mushroom trail, The Fungus That Roared. There's the second half. Toast and Jam. This was a gig we played out in Mission. It's Upper Levels, Crimson Seas, Drag River, The Rose Chronicles, and Jazzberry Ram, plus much more to come. Cheap beer. It was it was definitely a beer experience, let me tell you. Mentioned Nemesis Gypsy. Here's a ticket of theirs for when they were playing at the Rock Cellar. The Rock Cellar used to be in the basement of the Fraser Arms Hotel, which is at the very south end of Granville, heading up towards the airport. What's this one here? Oh, that was a boring one. This was a conference on how to make it in music. This is a ticket, Town Pump for Atlantis Bus. Fantastic band. Actually, the funny thing is, if I open up this closet, I got a whole bunch of their demo tapes in there still. Maybe we'll play some of that later. Here, okay, here's a ticket for us playing at the Rock Cellar. Now, this is kind of funny because you see the name and the date are actually written on there. I can't tell you how it works today, but back then, the reason why we had tickets like this is because with most places, the Sandy Cove being the exception that I knew of, and we'll get into that after, the cover charge was whatever they decided to charge, and you got paid, you know, $1 or $2 a head for everybody who bought through one of your tickets. And most places wouldn't bother to print up tickets for you. They just give you these, and you'd have to go for it. There's Nemesis Gypsy again. Stillwater's, buddy of mine's band. I do have their demo tape, and if I can find a way to get it on the computer, I may play a snippet of some of this stuff for you. And this, of course, is another for the Rock Cellar, but it says the Fraser Arms Hotel on there. Now here is one of the tickets that we actually had printers for us, and this was the 86th Street Music Hall. June 25th, 1992, so a little over 15 years ago. Holy crap. But there you go, Drag the River 86th Street Music Hall. Okay, now these guys, Big Tall Garden, holy shit. I think that they're still together, and if they are, and you ever see their name, go see them play, because they're incredible. This is an order form for Mint Records, independent record company in town here. I know a couple of friends, I have a couple of friends who are on that label. This is Mushroom Trail, and they started recording for LSD Records, London Smith Discs. Neat guys. They kind of faded away when the times changed, but so it happened. Now this is going back to that. This is a ticket to that show at the YMCA. Bunch more tickets here. Mother Trucker. That. Oh man. Okay, now here's one for the Town Pump. This is when we played the Town Pump with Nemesis Gypsy, but you can see how they didn't print your tickets for us. They gave us a whole bunch of somebody else's tickets, and we got to cross their name out and write ours on them. Always very professional. Face Puller. Very, I mean, I think they're still together actually. My buddy Ian McDonald, that was his band. Them and Mother Trucker very closely. Freeway Persuasion. This was Rob Darch's band. Rob Darch is now the owner of Hypsonic Studios. He's also ran the Jam Factory, and I think he also owns Mushroom as well. He's doing quite well for himself. Let's see if I can find something interesting in here. Okay, this is an article about London Smith Discs, actually. You can see Brian Watson and Kirk Bentham there. This is the insert for Oh God, My Mom's on Channel 10, which is what this is. And this was Nardwuar the Human Serviettes. I don't think he still does, but he used to have a record label, and this was a big compilation. This is one of the very first big things that he put out. And this was the little insert that went with that. This here is a 45 for, there's Nardwuar right there. They're all wearing masks, so I can't quite pick them out. But I think this guy here now plays with the New Pornographers. That's the Evaporators. This is Nardwuar Records. That is an official Nardwuar the Human Serviette. There's one there too. This is Up Down and Seattle Bound, 45 by the Smugglers. They were on Mint Records, and good friends of mine. This was actually their first recording. This right here is a tape of them playing on CITR, which is, if I could find a way to play it, I most definitely would. What else do we have here? More and more crap. Groovy Davaduza. Groovy Davaduza. This is our rip-off at the Sandy Cove of Lollapalooza. Well, just because I'm going uber professional here, I was just looking through the stuff that I've shot, and as some of you may recall, I can only shoot 3 minutes at 3 minutes at a time. That last one was a bit shorter because I ran out of memory. But I was talking about Groovy Davaduza. This was something that we put on at Sandy Cove, and 10 bands in 2 days. Nobody said we'd be able to do it, but we did, and it kicked ass. As I said, Upper Levels, Mushroom Trail we've talked about. Funkyard. This one right here is the little logo for Freeway Persuasion, which was, as I said, Rob Darch's band. Rob Darch now runs studios. Crimson Seeds. Here's actually an article from the North Shore News about the Crimson Seeds. Rich, Tim, and Jamie. They were a really interesting band. I quite liked them. They were a lot lighter than a lot of the music that got played at the Sandy Cove, but good band, except for the fact that one of them kept sleeping with our girlfriends, or at least trying. Another place where I got cut off was talking about, oh, where the hell did I put it? These guys, LSD, Leonard Smith Discs. I was talking about Brian Watson, Kirk Bentham. I haven't heard anything about these guys in a very long time, but I did read a while back a very, very flattering article about Brian Watson, so I hope they're both doing well. I showed you the Mint Records order form. This is from Sub Pop Records, Sub Pop Singles Club, and you fold that out, and it's got all the albums, all the singles, the T-shirts and stuff. Sub Pop, actually, when they were still just exploding, you used to go in and buy the stuff out of their actual shop, like out of their office. They'd have, you know, computers and telephones and banks of records and T-shirts. But now you have to go and you'd have to go and get it from their store. So that has changed. Now, before Nardwuar had his record label, he'd and while he had his record label as well, he'd put on all ages shows. And he had a newspaper route, and what he would do is he'd save up his money from delivering newspapers and throwing all ages shows. I used to have a whole bunch of his posters, and I can't find any of them anymore. They're around somewhere, but can't be bothered to look for them right now. So this is just a little handbill of the of one of his concerts, and it's the Head Coats with Billy Childish. And most of you probably don't know who Billy Childish is, but shame on you. He's one of these guys who's the most famous person that nobody's ever heard of. Girl Trouble, the Mummies, who actually go on stage dressed as mummies. The Evaporators, and The Worst. And $6 tickets, Saturday, August 10th, 1991. So that's a good 16 years ago, but I remember that show. I remember meeting Billy Childish. It was very, very cool. Very cool. So I guess I'm getting ready to pretty much wrap up my my little trip through Amnesia Lane here. This was an interesting one. This was a free music festival, and it was Upper Levels, Water, Dragged River, Highly Unlikely, Crimson Seeds, Big Tall Garden, Funky Yard, Free Word Persuasion, Pussy Galore, Sean Carlisle, and special guests. And somebody actually died at this show. It's a really shitty story that I really don't feel like getting into, but so my band does have the dubious distinction of playing a concert where somebody died. This is another one of the write-in tickets for a place called Lunatic Fringe. Nice little club, fun place to play. This is a little thing about the fan club for Bob's Your Uncle. Now, some of you may know Sookyun Lee. She was the lead singer of Bob's Your Uncle. She was a VJ on Much Music for a while, and now she's apparently got quite a decent acting career going, so best of luck to her as well. Now, if it were up to me, I would just sit here and go through this shit all night, but I probably shouldn't. But these are always kind of fun. This is a Smuggler's 45. Side 1, The Smuggler King, Walking Out on Love. Side 2, Superstar and Kamikaze. But Party Pooper. The way that they did these are actually kind of fun because there's 4 of them, and one has David Carswell, their guitarist, who now, as I know, runs a studio and produces in Vancouver. This is Bryce. He was their drummer at the time. I honestly cannot tell you what he's doing right now. This is Grant. He's the lead singer. He now works for the CBC. And this is Nick and Bees, the guitar player and the bass player. And I haven't seen Nick in a very long time, so I hope he's doing well. Same thing with Bees. Bees was their bass player. Very funny guy, great guy. And then just sort of, you know, other Smugglers 45s. And that was the original one there. That one. This is a fun one. This is Tattoo Dave. Well, there you have it. So, that's that. Any questions, send them along. I'll try and answer them as best I can. Actually, just one final note. Part of the reason why I'm not in my chair and worrying too much about editing and this and that. It's just that a couple of few of my last videos has sort of raised some passions, and people are upset and pissed off and this and that. And for me, YouTube is more about the social aspect of it, so I thought I would just take some time, like the last one about my trip to go see some friends in Pemberton. You know, I was by no means professional, but I just gave you a little bit of who I am and what I like to do, so that's part of the reason behind this one, is just to slow things down, just be ugly, sit here in my pajamas, and just let you guys know a little bit about myself, and no arguing, no fighting, no opinions, just memories. So, if you guys have some skeletons in your closet, I'd love to see them. So, is there any questions? Anything I can answer? I will try. Other than that, have a good night.